A major pot deal sending weed stocks blazing higher today and sparking what could be a huge week for the space. Aditi Roy's in San Francisco with more on the cannabis craze. Hi, Aditi.
Hi there, Melissa. The big week in the cannabis industry is kicking off with some cross-border news ahead of the Canadian legalization. Canopy Growth announcing that it will acquire the assets of Ebu, a Colorado-based hemp research company, for $19 million plus 6.2 million shares. Now, the most notable part of this deal is that it marks Canopy's entry into U.S. operations. In a statement, Canopy is saying the deal will complement and accelerate multiple core verticals operating under Canopy Growth's group of companies. The deal sent shares of Canopy Growth up and had other pot stocks lighting up ahead of Canada's legalization. Industry watchers are also looking ahead to the U.S. market. Analysts are responding to Representative Dana Rohrabacher's comments last week that he expects that President Trump will pursue federally legalizing medical marijuana following the midterm elections. Now, they're urging caution, noting that the White House has not confirmed the comment. In the meantime, U.S. cannabis companies are also asking President Trump to change federal cannabis laws. We got a preview of this ad coming out in tomorrow's Wall Street Journal. It's a letter to the president from the CEO of California-based TerraTech saying America is losing its competitive advantage to Canada because U.S. companies are losing out as cannabis dollars go across the border. All this as U.S. Customs and Border Protection will be holding a media call tomorrow, reiterating that marijuana remains illegal federally and that federal agents will be enforcing that law at border crossings. Melissa, back to you.
Aditi, thanks. Aditi Roy in San Francisco. All this bringing the U.S. one step closer to fully embracing marijuana. Right now, 31 states have legalized medical use, with 9 of those, plus Washington, D.C., legalizing recreational use. And with the midterm elections right around the corner, Tim here says America's road to reefer could be hitting the next level. Before we get to that, we should note that Tim is long a number of pot names, sits on advisory boards for 3 cannabis stocks. For all of Tim's disclosures, you can go to Fast Money. Actually, fast.cnbc.com. But Tim, why don't you take it away?
Okay, Mel. So, right, the road to reefer. First of all, I want to point out a couple things. First of all, I think this is a bipartisan issue. So as much as we want to talk about it, I think it is a catalyst, and let's go here. I actually think that both sides of the aisle really care about this issue, and I think both are pushing for it. But where are we going to get full adult recreational legalization? North Dakota is polling at about 80% right now. Michigan is polling at north of 60%. I think you have a dynamic here where you could actually see, that continue to develop across the country. And then as you continue to look at what else is happening on the ballot, at least as a very significant issue on the medical side, you actually have Utah, you actually have Missouri, the show me state, where I think also they're very much in favor of it. The irony, of course, is that the Mormon Church is obviously what we know about from Utah. They also, I think you can make an argument, at least the overall environment over there is very productive and certainly very constructive towards full legalization. So ultimately, what does this mean for expectations? And I want to point out that there's a number of companies that are out there that actually could continue to be beneficiaries of this. And if you look at this chart, first of all, we've got these empty glass jars to show you the U.S. market. Well, who can benefit? So we talked about Canopy this morning. Their deal with Ebu. Ultimately, this is a Colorado-based research firm that helps on the genetic side. You can make an argument. It certainly will be helping them with extraction. GW Pharma, we spent a lot of time talking about this company. The fact of the matter is that the FDA views what they are doing and has descheduled one of their main drugs. I actually believe that's the path we're going with a lot of biopharma in this country. MedMen had a big deal last week with PharmaCann. And again, for those people that complain about U.S. valuations, MedMen actually used an expensive currency in their stock and bought a cheaper name, which is a U.S. name. And that trade, by the way, of buying up U.S. names with Canadian currency stocks, whether they're U.S. companies, MedMen's a U.S. company, but buying companies with, you went to the capital markets in Canada and actually bought other things. That consolidation is going on right now. Charlotte's Web, this is a name in the CBD oil nutraceutical wellness area that's also a major U.S. player in terms of distribution of CBD, which is something that we all know is a huge total addressable market. It's growing 55%. So, Mel, a lot of opportunities.
Karen has a question.
Yeah, not to throw cold water in your bong or anything, but this deal announced today for Canopy was $325 million deal, and yet the acquirer stock, went up over $2 billion. Seems a little bit frothy, no?
I think there's a couple things going on. First of all, by the way, Bruce Linton was at one of Jim Cramer's events over the weekend where I also was on a panel right after they spoke. The alignment between Constellation Brands and Canopy is unbelievable. The way these two companies are talking about dominating the world here, I think has a lot to do with the headlines that are coming through today. This Ebu deal, I think, is very creative, but it shows that they are working very hard on the research side, that this is a place where the science side of this continues to outperform. But let's face it, big institutions are just getting involved here, and if you're going to play in one name, This is a name that you can make an argument on valuation. You can make an argument on balance sheet. You can make an argument on partnership. And I actually not surprised to see the stock move today.